Next news is out of Arizona, USA. Christian hate preacher says activist Greta Thunberg is a sniveling Swedish brat. So Pastor Stephen Anderson, is obsessed with gays, like obsessed with gays. And he's one of the preachers that belong to a very fundamental Baptist group. He preaches at the Faithful Word Baptist Church. And this time his rant is actually not about gays, surprisingly, but about the environment. And he says that God created the earth for us to inhabit. And so, therefore, climate change can't even be a thing because God made it for us and he knew how we were going to turn out, right? So we know how the world's going to end. We know the world's going to end in judgment. God's going to come down, the angels, blah, blah, blah. So we don't even need to be worrying about climate change or the environment at all. He says that Al Gore was trying to protect people who did not need protecting, who are the Christians, and that Greta is a sniveling brat.
Yeah, I mean, when you start talking like this about a child, then you know that you got. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to talk about Greta and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I agree with the stuff that Greta stands for, but I don't think. I don't know if the reports of people using her is accurate or not. So I'm not going to comment on that. But it doesn't really matter whether you agree with her or not. She's how old is she?
16.
Do you think it's fair for people to attack a child like that? I don't know. 16 is pretty much an adult almost. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, this guy is an idiot, and I don't think that it's fair for us to put this on Christianity. There's nothing in I mean, we're against Christianity, but technically there is nothing in Christianity that is anti-protecting the planet, right? So this is like a lot of Christians, because they're conservatives, and some, again, hashtag not all conservative, but one conservative position is to be against any measures to protect the planet, which is weird thing to be standing for. But because a lot of Christians are on that side, they're trying to find verses in the Bible or teachings in the Bible that promotes their position, but it's usually a huge stretch. So we want to be fair. Like when people use teachings in the Bible to try to say, oh, look, the Bible is great and this is promoting good things, often it's a huge stretch and it actually doesn't promote that. But when they try to do the same thing to promote something that is wrong, right? Like, for example, being a climate change denier or something like that, if that's also a huge stretch, I want to be consistent, and I want to say, like, I don't want to, just because I'm anti-Christianity, don't want to be like, yeah, see, this is another reason why Christianity is bad. I'm actually, like, looking at it, I'm like, I'm not seeing anything in your Bible that actually supports this position. What do you think, Ellie? You're an ex-Christian, so.
Well, in the Bible, in Genesis, it does say God does want us to, he put us in charge of the animals and the earth, right? And because he put us in charge of it, that means we're supposed to care for the animals and the earth that God created for us. So right. I think that in and of itself is an argument for, climate change. We need to be concerned about our environment. We need to be concerned about the earth that God made for us. People should be jumping all over that. Not, hey, let's run this bitch into the ground because God's going to come for us anyway. Right. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, you're right. Technically, it would be an easier, using the Bible, it would be easier to make take the position that, we need to take over a planet, right? That would be an easier conclusion to make of the Bible. Again, I'm not defending the Bible because you could get anything you want out of the book, but I'm just trying to be fair. Just trying to be, fair and not be like, let me see what the top comment is. Shrupam, do you have anything before I look at the...
I was saying like if you see it legally, Greta Thunberg is still a minor because 18 is considered the legal age in most countries.
Yeah,
So
I
I mean
just think
legally, I don't think he can say that like to a child.
you can. I think you can. We're not
No.
legally. I don't think this is legally an issue. I just was thinking morally if it's an issue. I mean, you can
Right.
criticize even.
And I think you need to make that very clear is that no one here is even trying to say anything about legal. This is about, ethics. Like, should we really be attacking people's children? Should we really be attacking children? And from the position I've always taken is all the children are our children, right? Every child out here we should all be treating as our own. From my standpoint, I think it's absolutely disgusting to start bashing a child. If you disagree with a child, challenge them, nurture them, help them see things the way you think are right. If you think that they're so wrong, but to attack a child, to call him a brat because you disagree with him, from a moral or ethics standpoint, I think that's just ridiculous.
I mean, it's ridiculous if you use that against anyone's position instead of actually, I mean, if you even disagree with him, I don't know, actually, I don't know what the full context was, so I'm not going to comment on that. But let me see what Paul is saying. I'm going to get a hat full of hate and insulted for this. I think this is not right English, but let's continue. It's right for her and everyone to look after the planet we live on. I'm all for that. But going on about how adults of the world have ruined her childhood, in quotations, she's after the one that took a carbon fiber yacht that cost 15 million, which has, I don't know what I think this is very bad English, but it is the top comment. Let me just read. So saying she's after the one that took a carbon fiber yacht that cost 15 million, which has a huge backup diesel engine on, and process of manufacturing carbon fiber is devastating. I don't know what the point is. To you, she just say, okay. So she's saying it's not. She's a hypocrite because she's using stuff that actually creates a lot of carbon emissions. Okay, and also
so ignorant. And I'm sorry that those kind of arguments really, really annoy me. It's like when people don't like vegans and they're like, oh, what, do you walk? Have you ever stepped on a bug? Oh, you stepped on a bug, you're a hypocrite. You've hurt an animal. Her point is to do less harm, least amount of harm that you can do. I'm sure that Greta has eaten something that came out of a plastic package. I'm sure she's done stuff like that. That's not the point here. She's not saying she's perfect. She's asking everyone as a collective to start being better.
Yeah. I mean, it tells you a lot. I mean, the whole issue of this whole global warming and climate change, when things become political, you have to, if you could see that people are taking positions, whether scientific facts are real or not, based on whether they're left-leaning or right-leaning, that's, when neither side is actually looking at the science. They're like, oh, what camp do I belong to? Oh, what does my camp believe in? Okay, I'm going to hold that position. And they're like, don't you want to actually figure out what's real? Like, nope, this is my tribe. My tribe believes this, so I'm going to hold this position. Even if you end up having the right position, like if you're a left-leaning position and all of a sudden you're like, oh, we need to save the climate and this is global warming is a huge issue, you're right. But chances are you're only right because you picked the position of your tribe, not because a lot of time, like I have that position, but a lot of people on the left, they have that position not because they actually done the research. They just took the position that the tribe holds. So you were right in this scenario, but accidentally you're just following the crowd. Do you guys agree with that? Like, I think like a lot of the position that even people on the right and left hold, even the ones that are correct, it's because they're just following their.
Atheists are under attack in many places. If they were Christians, their voices would be heard. If they were Jews, their voices would be heard. If they were Muslims, their voices would be heard. But they are atheists, and not many seem to be listening. Let's make it difficult for them to ignore us. We have built a global community, and now we are tearing down geographic, cultural, and language barriers so we can find each other and support each other. In the last decade, we have built the largest atheist community in the world. Now we're doing the same in other languages. With your help, we have started Atheist Republic in Persian and Arabic.
انضميت مؤخراً لأسرة Atheist Republic وحيصير عندي بودكاست باللغة العربية.
As we grow, we can dedicate more time, staff, and resources to start doing the same in Spanish, Portuguese, Malay, Bengali, Urdu, Hindi, and other languages. We are providing community, support, informative content, and amplifying the voices of those who need protection, especially in countries where people feel isolated simply for their lack of belief. We want to be there for them, and we are only getting started. Help us get there. Check in the description for ways you can support our projects.